Alright, so welcome back to another Tech Time. In this time I'm going to be dealing with my Ice Trike neck rest. At the time that I was purchasing this, the Ice Trike neck rest was only like $65 compared to a finer recliner neck rest, which was about, I want to say it was $125 or something like that. So I went ahead and went with the Ice neck rest. I have a finer recliner neck rest on my Road. This is my Cat Trike Road, and I had a finer recliner neck rest on my 700, which I loved. The finer recliner is probably the best neck rest out there. It's much better than the standard Cat Trike one for sure, but the Ice Trike neck rest is pretty good. Not quite as comfortable as the finer recliner, but still pretty good. But one of the things I discovered on my trike was how this neck rest is mounted. It puts all of the brackets and all of the bars right up next to the seat. So by having everything right up next to the seat like that, it actually gives my seat less room in there. So even though I have an Ergolux seat on this, it moves a little bit and some stretches a little bit. And I've noticed that there are items that I have in my pocket. The Ice Trike has a pocket on the back of the seat, and it's about 7.5 inches deep. There's two. It's a dual pocket in here, and the deep part of the pocket is about 7.5 inches deep. So I was looking in my seat bag for something, and I noticed that I carry an emergency kit. I carry an emergency kit in my bag. First aid kit and things like that. If you don't carry one, you should, because it might not be for you, it might be for someone else. But I carry this, and then there's a couple of extra tools. I also carry a pen and some cards, some note cards, in case anyone needs to give me a message, or I need to write something down or whatever. So good thing to do. Anyway, this pocket I noticed was causing some problems with my first aid kit, and it was starting to break my pen apart and do some other things, and I think that some of it is because of the way this bracket is mounted for my neck rest. Now this might be how Ice has it set up, to where the neck rest is on the seat, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this bracket and I'm going to flip these around, and I'm going to take these bars so they're on the outside. It'll still have plenty of wheel clearance, I've already checked, but I'm going to turn them around because just taking this part off, I can't put the bar behind it. So I can't put the bar here because it would be in the way of the seat. So I'm going to take this and flip it around and see if it will give me more room and keep it from putting so much pressure on the contents in my seat pocket. And then, so I don't have to figure out how to put the clamps back on and figure out how high they need to go, how low they need to go. I just loosened it a little bit. This was the original position, and this is going to be the new position. So I just flip the bracket around, and then I'm going to tighten it up right there. So this is the part that gets fun for me. I have misplaced the Allen key wrench that fits that, and so I have to use one from an extra set. It's a really long wrench, but it works. But now it's the fun part of trying to get it in behind the seat as I rotate the neck rest up so I can get it tightened down. So just make sure you have the right kind of Allen wrench on hand. So it's said that necessity is the mother of invention. I have Allen keys that are apex bits, and I found the right one. And I have this little tool, it's called a dog bone. It's just a ratcheting box-in wrench, and they fit in there. And so I'll be able to get in there into the seat with this and ratchet it on and ratchet it tight, and it'll be just fine. So I also wanted to show you while I'm in here where I reconfigured the seat. I reconfigured it a little bit to where I moved the bracket back to the way it was, to where it's not flipped around backwards. It still reclines the seat back quite a bit. And as you can see, this part of the seat actually rests on the frame because I actually moved the seat in just a little bit, and so I put there's a piece of leather with some Gorilla Tape over it so it doesn't scratch it too bad, although I don't mind too much. But this bracket is actually holding onto the seat, and it's all leaned back. This is probably as far as I can lean it back realistically, and I had to remove some chain and stuff like that. And you can see in this video here where I talked about it a little bit, but I never showed anything, so that was when we were out doing a ride. So that's what I've done here. Okay, and the final thing of the day, trying to figure things out, having a rainy day and not riding or doing much else, working and just having a day to work on the trike. I went ahead and figured out a new mount for the 360 because you see in the video that I shot last time, I'll leave that link here, it was mounted sideways, if you will, and the lenses were facing to the sides, and so it made the video kind of funny. So now I figured out a way to make it to where the front lens faces forward, the rear lens faces rear. When the software stitches together the video, it should look a little bit better, or a little more how it's supposed to. And so now I have the rear lens facing the rear and the front lens facing the front. I also reconfigured it so I have a mount for my GoPro. Instead of my GoPro being up on top, I'll have the 360 camera. Then I'll have my GoPro here. Then I'll have the Fly 6 camera here. And then I also have the camera that I'm carrying here. That's just on the trike. When it comes to the Velomobile, I am going to have to do some different kind of configuring to get all of these cameras to work on that. I'm going to try and build some mounts. I don't have a 3D printer and I don't really have access to one. And just to do a few parts. I'm sure it would be a lot of fun to have a 3D printer, but alright, so there's a little bit more of what's going on and what I'm doing. Man, a lot of things going on with this trike, it seems like. If you have any questions or suggestions about some of the things that I've done to my trike, and you need more detail or whatever, or if you have a suggestion on how I could do it better or differently, just comment below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can with an answer, or you can email me at theflamingeyeballvelo@gmail.com, and I'll leave that link in the description as well. Alright, until next time, cheers.